Welcome back, everyone. I hope you all are not tired since we are now beginning with our next session and it needs nothing less than your undivided attention. The session is for AR VR, which I'm sure most of us are using nowadays in one way or another. What better way to know about it than here? So let me introduce you to our speaker for the session. We have with us Mritunjay Srivastav. Mritunjay is an AR/VR developer and a Unity game developer. He is a lead developer at IION and working on in-game advertising there. He has been tech founder at Native, which is Asia's first in-game advertising corporation. I would request him to begin with the session now.
Thank you for the lovely introduction. Yeah, hi guys. Uh, I'm Mritunjay. I was exclusively a co-developer in AR and VR department, and currently an in-game developer at the MNC Ion, which is an Australia-based company working in an XR industry along with the advertising, as well as they have some product in gaming too. So I'll be presenting my screen. Do let me know when it's visible.
Sorry to interrupt you, but please switch on the camera.
Yeah. Am I visible? I guess
Yes.
yes. Yeah. So I'll be presenting. So we'll be starting with an AR and VR. So before that, let me ask you a question. Any of you, or do you know, guys? Do you know about what is AR and what is VR? And have you guys used any kind of application in that domain? Uh, can I interact with the audience? Is it possible?
You can tell the audience to raise their hand and then they can
Ah,
speak.
understood. No issue. So let's do one thing. I'll present the whole presentation, and after that, we'll be having an Q&A session where you guys can ask a question. So the first one, today's agenda, we'll be starting with the today's agenda. That would be introduction with the AR and VR. What is the rise of AR and VR and the metaverse? And getting started with an XR. XR is for stand for the extended reality, which is basically a combination of AR and VR. After that, we'll be having a discussion about the importance and potential of XR in various fields, discovering the possibilities and of AR and VR, tools and framework that we use and will be using in the future developments, and exploring the metaverse. So the extended reality. So the extended reality stands for the extended reality, which is a combination of augmented reality and virtual reality. So these are three, which also consists of mixed reality. So there is a thin line difference between augmented reality, mixed reality, and virtual reality. In virtual reality, we observe things that are made of 3D assets. We need a specific kind of a device, as an VR device, such as a Oculus, Google Cardboard, or specifically made device that have some visual effects and a two lenses camera. In that, we render 3D objects, 3D scenarios, and a game-like environment where we can interact with these objects. Other is augmented reality. Augmented reality differs where we used to see these objects over a digital window. For example, your mobile phone camera. Here, the object will be rendered into the real world, but you can observe them over your digital screen. The another one is a combination of AR and VR. Here we'll be having a glass like normal glass or an 3D screen where we'll be interacting with the world in the object in the mixed reality. That stands for you'll be having an object placed on an desk, and you can operate that, you can manipulate, or you can change the scenarios and observe in a 3D environment. So that's the whole combination of AR, VR, and MR is known as an XR. Well, moving forward, then as I briefed you, what's VR, what's AR, and what's MR. So for the VR, तो guys आप लोगों ने कभी VR का if you visit some malls nowadays, VR devices are available at every malls. Have you guys used that? You should have seen. For the VR, we have device of Oculus Rift, HTC Vive, even Google Cardboard gives that form of reality. For these applications, we rendered 3D objects and objects made from the game engines like the Unity or Unreal that is based in the surrounding, and we have handheld controllers to manipulate them. The prime example of AR is in Pokemon Go. If you have played that game, where the Pokemon render on a 3D on a mobile screen, and you can manipulate with them or perform some kind of action on a screen, and that will be rendered in the midst of a real world environment. And for the mixed reality, we have a HoloLenses. The mixed reality gives you a permission of having an observing an object in a holographic form. With the help of an spectacles or mixed reality glasses, you can observe it. You can interact with them with your hand gestures and observe the real life environment with them. Getting started within XR. So XR is the new buzzword in this tech world. It's very common in this. It's an umbrella term that is used for the VR, AR, and MR. So XR gives you interactivity to interact with these environments. And nowadays, many different industries are using these techs. Either it's an medical industry, defense industry, or educational purpose. These are transforming all these industries and having the most impactful impact in those domains. So importance and potential of XR in various fields. So we have so many innovative uses for virtual reality. Either it's a dining, we have some food, we can travel virtually with them with the different places and immerse ourselves in a certain environment while tasting the dishes or having these kind. We can visit these kind of location all over the world in a virtual reality. Whether it's a medicine, there is an important fact that Spanish National Research Council they have used the VR technology to uh, develop an application which help Parkinson's disease peoples to have a better hand to eye coordination with them. That's the one used in medical industry. There was a media, as we see, the digital media hasn't developed so much in the industry. They are trying to build and create a very much informative ways and provide more detailed information of those events in a virtual environment form. And education, AR, there's no better use of AR, VR, and XR in education than any other technology. So you can observe any 3D. For a medical, if we talk about the different domains, for a technological guy, you can observe a whole engine of working of an engine. Combustion engine and a VR for you can observe all the parts, how they work, and how they perform in a real environment without opening an real life object. Or for the medical domain guys, they can have a real life dissection or other kind of events. They can know how how perform a virtual kind of operation and know how the body part functions or how the specific muscle response from them. So that's the one thing in the education system. Entertainment, the video game creators, the movies, the shows can be viewed in a VR in a very interactive environment. There's a thing that VR and XR are having a huge impact on the gaming industry and the cinematic industry. We are observing a 3D environment games. If you have seen Avatar in a 3D one, there is nowadays when a producer film, there was a small clip of a VR world experience for a horror game. There was a movie launch it that they have made a virtual environment for that specific scene of the movie. That gains a lot of views from there, and they had a good impact on them on the marketing that movie. There's another use in architecture. We can showcase how the object will be viewed in that specific place, the flat, how the walls will be going in a virtual environment without even building it, and that gives a clear perspective how the world will be going. There's a culture and art. Uh, you can see some museums offer a virtual visits, immersive experience to help the associate work with each other. and military, the UK military, the Indian military. There is a startup known as Ajna Lens. They provide the virtual reality graphic classes. I think in an XR classes to the Indian defense services. They have to simulate they have to observe the environment better. They have to simulate the combat experience. They have to provide a more additional data from rather than a 2D screen. Moving forward. Describing the possibilities in AR and VR, as I discussed, there are so many possibilities. Retail and marketing. You can observe the how the product looks in a real life without even purchasing. How it looks on your side, any object or a 3D model of that specific object. Architecture and design. Before even starting the building, you can make changes how they will be look when it built on real life. How the designs of that specific thing will work. Education and training, in a military, in a technical school, in a medical school, they have lot of possibilities for the AR and VR department. Gaming and entertainment, these are the two industries that are getting highly impacted by these kind of technologies. Whether it's a gaming, whether it's an entertainment. In the entertainment industry, the movies, the shows that will be built in future that are building in now are having some sort of a VR and AR experience. The VFX we see are fully designed on the game engines that are provide game engines or the 3D artist studios that have those kind of assets. They just have to put the virtual and interactiveness in those movies, and you can also these in a virtual reality. The games that we have for the Oculus have so many interactive games. If you've seen the movies like Ready Player One, and there was an this movie, The Free Guy. These are the movies that show how the AR and VR gaming works and how the future will be defined by these kind of scenarios. The next one is the extended reality. What does an XR engineer do? So XR engineers are basically the developers that develop a combination of AR and VR applications. So they have so many. I think the current industry need is about. Let me check my facts. Yeah. So an average XR industry has an about two expected to be 5 billions in the next quarter of the year, approx 2026 or 2027. It will be reaching to that specific domain because of those so many. For the XR engineer, the need will be approx 5 to it will be increase about 50 to 60% in the market need, and the need of these development these tools will be reaching to the 5 billion of the market size. They create 3D scenes, they create a coding interaction between the user and XR development, XR objects, and they optimize these kind of solutions. So how they'll be projecting in that specific domain. As a CAGR report said, there will be a speed difference between between the 58.2 from 2023 to 2030, approximately 18.4 billion to 457 billion. That's a proportional impact between the gaming and entertainment industry. So these are a few predictions that we'll be having for metaverse. That the first one is we'll be seeing a 2026 Mars landing in a virtual world, and the real estate currency. If you have seen a Roblox or these are having a direct impact on the XR world, because you can sell your 3D object or digital artwork into those worlds. And what better environment than having a VR world experience of those things? You can interact with those objects in that environment instead of getting a document file of other PNG for those NFT arts. You can interact with your NFT arts in virtual world, and you can sell them. If you have seen, I think there is an Indian singer, Punjabi singer, who has a Balli Balli land in a virtual world. Uh, the singer that sang the Tunuk Tunuk Tanana. I don't know the name. Some kind of lady. He have a virtual real estate in that domain. So that's built on a Roblox or any that field of property. It's and farming and selling a huge spots over there. So that's how we are looking for the future of AR and VR. By the 2030, it is expected that by 2030 people will be spending more time over the virtual world and XR world. And flat screen keyboard and mouse, there was a next assumption that flat screen keyboard and mouse will be eradicated by the water-like glasses, the contact lenses, or the hand-eye gestures for these screens. Another prediction was the shopping, the market will be totally diverges from the 2D screen to the interactive world. If you see, many platforms are using a XR or 3D objects to sell their products. You can observe these in a 3D moment, 3D model, how they will look from the all three direction perspective. And the next prediction was that high synthetic data generated from a simulated world will see to train an AI, or an object or a machine and for a real world like environment, you can do the training in the virtual world. For example, if you want to build a algorithm for a specific robot that will be escalated to a hilly area, that will be performing the same kind of action that he will be performing in the virtual world. You can give them additional set of data from these kind of how he'll be interacting, how that object will be interacting with those kind of area. You can train more that AI for design for that specific process in the virtual worlds. Otherwise, higher education will become more feasible. See, today we see that there are so many courses from the tier one colleges or the external outdoor colleges that are provided. If you guys know, there's a MIT whole set of lectures from MITs uploaded over the YouTube. You can get access to that. There are so many things there are so many courses that are available. But having these courses in the virtual world where you can interact with the thing that you are learning. For an engineer, he can be having an experience how the engine works. For the medical person, how the certain body part work. For an artist, how the painting, or he can observe all these things uh, in the 3D environment and getting more data than a 2D screen. Human thoughts, the next prediction was the by 2020, human thoughts will be able to track and record it. If you heard of a device Muse can track your brain waves and in real moment. You can connect that to the virtual headset devices, and you can kind of get the brainwave signal tracking from these devices and interact with these kind of environments. And so by 2030, as we see, these are the predictions that are being made, and these are the highly impactful for the different industries that we are talking about. So these are the impacts that they will be having. I'm totally amazed by these. So there was a quite line that within 10 years we'll be spending more on waking time than a 3D world in the virtual than we'll be having in a physical one. That's quite true. If we have seen a movies like there was a Ready Player One, it showcased how the virtual world could impact the current daily life of a normal person. Because you can do so many things. You can even perform real life jobs. There are some real life jobs in these environments. There was a Microsoft application. I think that was I don't know the specific name of that. All Space VR, yeah. There's an application All Space VR that consists of a different VR rooms, and there are so many industries that have their specific booth from there, where a specific person works there. So you can interact with these people and get a 3D views and 3D tour of that specific play or company, or how they perform and what kind of asset they sell, and they give whole descriptions about those things. So that's the thing that we are talking about. So tools and framework. Yeah, there are so many tools for developing an AR application and the application. The first thing that you will be needed is an game engine or an AR engine. So we have major game engines that first is mentioned in here is Unity. Also, apart from Unity, you have an Unreal Engine. There's another is a Cry Engine, because these are the engines. These are the softwares that gives you an tools to interact with in 3D environment and place on AR and VR environment over there for that specific object. You can build that application and those objects can function in a 3D mode. From apart from that, see, these engines provide an interactive tools, but you need some kind of applications to build those kind of 3D assets. If you played games, you have seen the 3D object, the whole scenario is built on a 3D engine. There's a houses, there's an object, there's guns, there are peoples, there's a whole hilly areas that are built over. Some are built in the game engines, some are built specifically built for from the 3D modeling 3D modeling platforms. Commonly, platforms are Blender, ZBrush, Maya, Autodesk. These are used for building a 3D objects, and you can use these objects to place on in your games. Then the player can interact with these. For the also you'll be needing, if you're putting these kind of application, you'll be needing 2D objects too. For the 2Ds objects, we'll be having a Photoshop and Adobe Illustrator. And for the WebXR, we have for WebXR is in common terms, which is an umbrella. It gives you a set of APIs that enables you to use XR tools. And there's an Niantic's 8 Wall, there's a Zapper, Spark AR, View AR, AR Go, and Lens Studio. These give you tools and set of tools that will be used alongside with these game engines to create VR applications, AR applications, MR applications. It's totally depend what kind of engines and how you want to put that 3D asset in the use. So Vuforia also gives you a platform to interact to create these kind of application and AR experience. ARKit and ARCore are kind of plugin. They also have a plugin, and they also have a unique SDKs and platform. These in these you can create an application, AR applications for iOS platform, Android platform. Even nowadays, you can create an application for any device that have a set of camera. So for those platforms, you can create an MR application too. Oculus SDK. See, Oculus SDK or HTC SDK or the Lift Edge SDK. These are totally dependent on the what kind of device you have. So to the game you have created, if you want to create for that specific device, you will be needing that specific SDK for that. If you're creating for a HTC Lift, you'll be needing a developer console for the HTC Lift. For the Oculus, you need Oculus SDK. And there's a GeoGlass. That's I think it's India's first MR glass. It will be launched, I think, this year or the next year. They are planning to launch it, but they have their own developer panel. They have their own SDK, and they are building it. So you can, for this specific device, there will be a specific kind of SDK that will be used to interact with the sensors and cameras that they have to render these kind of events and objects. Moving forward. Before that, I would like to introduce, would add a few things. There are a few programming languages that are interacting with that, that are including that format. There's a C#, Python, and JavaScript. These are the languages that gives you an access to the whole different community, whole different set of tools and environment that will be used for these kind of developments. For the Unity, if you're building an application for Unity, you will be having a hands-on coding on C#. If you're building for the Unreal engines, you'll be having a hands-on experience on the C++. For the Cryo engine, that would be JavaScript. So these are the tech side that you'll be implementing on these things, and the game engines will be helpful for you developing XR and VR experiences. And the most important and impactful thing that where you can see there's a common buzzword for the metaverse. Metaverse is a combination of AR, VR, MR. Facebook changes name from Facebook to the Meta because they are having so many impactful. Oculus is acquired by the Facebook because they have seen how the XR world is having the impact in the industries and how it's growing. Because this is the new future where you'll be interacting with the 3D objects and you'll be entering into the new world where the only foundation is your imagination and the things you can build, the places you can go, the amount of knowledge you can gain in a new environment and new kind of things. So that's the thing that XR and VR have. That's the future that will be seen, and it's not very far. It's very close. That's all. Thank you. If you guys have any questions regarding the game engines or programming language that we use or the platforms, where should you begin? You can ask me or connect me on LinkedIn. I'll be happy to help.
Please use the raise hand features available so that we can permit you to use your microphone. I would also like to inform you that you can scan the QR code displayed to get the certificate for the session.
I think, yeah, Raj.
हाँ भैया मेरा क्वेश्चन ये था लाइक
Mhm.
आपने एआर वीआर के बारे में इतने अच्छे से इंट्रोडक्शन दिया मैं इसका प्लेसमेंट के पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से इसका स्कोप जानना चाहूंगा कि लाइक क्या है एंड स्पेशली अगर यहाँ पे हम बीबीआईटी में लाइक पीएचडी कॉलेज के बारे में अगर आप थोड़ा इलैबोरेट करके बता सकते तो ज़्यादा बेटर होगा.
So I don't know specific about the college, but yeah, I've been work. अपनी XI industry में work on किया है. So as I told, so for XR world, you need to have an experience in game development. If you search the gaming industry, that have a उसका market में demand बहुत है. See, at the point when I was working with the Geo classes, they are searching for the XR developers. And ये industry अभी इतनी underrated है कि इसकी developer community थोड़ी सी इंडिया में बहुत कम है. So there is a need for those developer. ऐसा नहीं है कि if you want to search a web developer, अगर आपको भी ढूंढना हो तो you can find so many web developers, there are so many platforms to find. बट अगर आपको स्पेसिफिकली एक्स्ट्रा डेवलपर चाहिए तो मार्केट में इस टाइम पे डिमांड सप्लाई वाला गेम है. डिमांड बहुत है, सप्लाई कम है. आई डोंट नो कि आपका जो कॉलेज है वहाँ पे ए आर एंड बी आर से रिलेटेड या फिर एस कम्युनिटी से रिलेटेड प्लेसमेंट है या नहीं है, बट इन द मार्केट देयर इज अ नीड. यू कैन सर्च ओवर द लिंक्डइन पे आप नॉर्मल सर्च करके देखो आपके पास कितनी एक्सआर की वैकेंट पीरियड्स आ जाएंगे. सो देयर इज अ नीड इन द मार्केट.
ओके भैया थैंक यू.
एनीथिंग एल्स?
भैया मैं आपका एक्सपीरियंस जानना चाहूँगा लाइक कि एक्सआर कम्युनिटी में काम करते करते क्या क्या एक्सपीरियंसेस की नीड होती है एंड ऑल अदर थिंग्स रिलेटेड टू दैट इन द पर्टिकुलर फील्ड.
In the particular field, if I talk about XR, the first thing you would be know, you'll be starting with a game engine. You'll be starting developing small games. After that, you'll be having a hands-on coding on some languages. For example, depend करता है आप कौन सा platform use करते हो for developing these application. If you'll be going for the Unity, आपको C# आना चाहिए. If you are using a अनरियल, आपको सी प्लस प्लस आना चाहिए. एंड द बेसिक फॉर्म ऑफ प्रोग्रामिंग, यहाँ पे इन डेप्थ पूरा रिक्वायरमेंट नहीं होता है, बट यू हैव टू इंटरेक्ट विद सेशंस. आपको लॉजिक फॉर्म करने होते हैं, हाउ द ऑब्जेक्ट विल बी इंटरेक्टिंग इन द रियल वर्ल्ड. मोस्ट ऑफ द थिंग आपको डॉक्यूमेंटेशन से पता चल जाएगा. दैट द रियल डेवलपर्स डू. आपको प्रॉब्लम सेट आता है, आप उसका लॉजिकल सॉल्यूशन ढूंढते हो, डॉक्यूमेंटेशन से उसका आप वर्किंग देखते हैं, देन इम्प्लीमेंट करते हो. एंड आफ्टर दैट यू विल बी, आपको 3D एसेट्स के बारे में पता होना चाहिए, हाउ दे आर इंटरेक्टिंग. आई एम नॉट सेइंग आपको बिल्ड करना चाहिए, बिल्ड करना आना चाहिए, बट आपको उससे इंटरेक्ट आना चाहिए. एंड जस्ट स्मॉल थोड़ा सा पोर्शन आपको एसडी के इंटीग्रेशन एंड सेंसर्स का पता होना चाहिए, क्योंकि डिवाइसेस में जब आप इम्प्लीमेंट करते हो, दैट्स अ थिंग दैट रिक्वायर्स. सो ड्यूरिंग माय, जब मैं एक्सआर इंडस्ट्री में मैं वर्क करता था, so these are the basic thing that I've learned. And when you start doing these things and one thing led to another, and you'll be having your own decided path.
ओके भैया थैंक यू.
Yeah, there's Gia.
Hello everyone. Very good evening, Bhaiya. Thank you for such an insightful session. I literally enjoyed it, and I have a question. It is about कि अगर कोई किसी को गेम खेलना नहीं पसंद, but he or she wants to get into game development with a specific perspective, तो उसके regarding मुझे guidance चाहिए थी. Like I love writing and storyline based writing. So I enjoy story based गेम्स, मतलब मैं खुद खेलती नहीं हूँ, तो मुझे वो स्टोरी फॉर्म करना एक कनेक्टेड प्लॉट के साथ, बिकॉज आई नो कि गेम्स मतलब काफ़ी क्रिएटिव होते हैं, एंड यू नो जैसे कि मार्वल यूनिवर्स हो गया, या इवन फॉर के पॉप स्टोरी लाइन बेस्ड प्लॉट्स जो होते हैं वैसे गेम्स होते हैं. आई रियली लाइक मेकिंग देम, बट आई डोंट एंजॉय प्लेइंग देम. सो इज इट पॉसिबल दैट समवन लाइक दैट कैन गेट इनटू इट? एंड अगर स्टोरी बेस्ड, मतलब ये कैसा फील रहेगा, एंड हाउ आई कैन explore about it, and how I can even see about it. So I wanted clarity in that.
See, it's totally depend on the creativity you guys have. It's not like कि सारे games जो होते हैं उसके अंदर player you have to move player or you have to shoot them. There are different genres of these kind of games. There was a game. I think there was a game on a Play Store. This is not a game. If you guys play that, that's not a specific kind of a game. It has set up a storyline. बहुत सारी गेम्स होती हैं. यू इट्स नॉट लाइक अगर आपको गेम पसंद है, आपको गेम नहीं खेलना है, बट यू कैन बिल्ड इट ऑन. ऐसा जरूरी नहीं है. एंड यू आपका गेम का एक यूनिक कंसेप्ट रहेगा वेयर दे कैन फॉलो अ स्टोरी लाइन, एंड यू कैन आप बना सकते हो. देयर इज नॉट लाइक कि अगर आपको आता नहीं है या फिर आपको पसंद नहीं है, यू डोंट वांट टू बिल्ड दैट. It's just like there is a need for these kind of creative works in the industry, and you can start with that. And अगर आपको basics पता है, basics in the programming language and the Unity gaming engine, you can build a story mode games where particular scene can after performing it. There was a game where you can have a set of choices that you'll be clicking on this set. You make this choice and then the story will form around that. There's a whole genre of these kind of games, and these are very well defined games and they are performing very well in the market. So आप इस type की games build on कर सकते हैं. That's a good thing.
So I was following a creator like that, and I मतलब मैं initially अपने जितना मुझे प्रोग्रामिंग पता है पाइथन रिलेटेड, मैं छोटी छोटी चीज़ें बना रही थी. So during the process I gave it to someone को, अपने कुछ फ्रेंड्स को बोला ट्राई करो, एंड someone gave me feedback कि अगर आप खुद नहीं खेलते हैं तो आपको पता नहीं चलता कि एक प्लेयर का क्या क्या मतलब क्या वो एक्सपेक्ट करता है गेम से, तो उसका क्या एक्सपीरियंस रहता है. सो आपको खुद वो चीज़ एक्सपीरियंस नहीं कर पाओगे, तो आई गेस आप उतनी अच्छी चीज़ें कर नहीं पाओगे.
See, the thing is जब हम कुछ अपने लिए जब हम लोग कुछ बनाते हैं, the thing is that we have built it, तो हमारा उससे sense of attachment रहता है. तो हमारे लिए एक real life feedback खुद से दे पाना is not that much. वो उतना अच्छा नहीं रहता है. So that's why we have the whole tester community and हम लोग beta launch करते हैं, so that हम लोगों को एक audience भी मिल सके कि इसमें market का क्या response आ रहा है. हमने बनाया, हमारे लिए वो अच्छा है. So it's not like कि अगर आपको पसंद नहीं है but वो अच्छा परफॉर्म ना करे. It's just like you have to share with different peoples. उनका आपको ओपिनियन लेना चाहिए कि how the storyline goes, how the things are work, और उनके बेसिस हम उसके फीडबैक के बेसिस पे उसको मॉडिफाई कर सकते हैं. It's not like आपको नहीं पसंद, हो सकता है सामने वाले को पसंद आ जाए. It's totally on that. It's like नहीं कि अगर आपने खेला नहीं है तो आपको एक्सपीरियंस नहीं है. You can see उसको enhance कर सकते हो on the feedback of others. That's why tester community exists.
बिल्कुल, थैंक यू सो मच.
थैंक यू फॉर दिस वंडरफुल सेशन. और मेरे कुछ डाउट है रिगार्डिंग इसके कि अगर हम गेम डेवलपमेंट में स्टार्ट करना चाहते हैं या फिर एक्सआर में स्टार्ट करना चाहते हैं, तो क्या क्या रिसोर्सेज रहेंगे, कहाँ कहाँ से स्टार्ट करना चाहिए हमें एज अ न्यू बिगनर?
As a new beginner, the first thing I would suggest, get थोड़ा सा information ले लो how the programming works. Second, how the game engine works. पहले थोड़े गेम खेल लो, आइडिया लग जाएगा कि गेम में सिनेरियो क्या रहता है, 3D ऑब्जेक्ट्स क्या होता है. Not a perspective of completing the game, just observe the environment.
नहीं
Second,
गेम तो मैंने काफी खेली है, लेकिन just a development perspective से
Development perspective से, yeah, you can start with the observing a game engines, just like Unreal हो गया, Unity हो गया. Unity have a big community, बहुत बड़ी community Unity की, and their official website have some kind of tutorials. You can find so many tutorials over the YouTube and so many platforms. So you start with building a small game, and you will be getting how the environment works, how the Unity works, हम हमारा programming language से इसका interaction कैसे रहता है, how the 3D objects renders in the game, और जो basic mechanism रहता है game environment का, whether interacting with the player, camera और scene, ये पता चलने के बाद ना बाकी फिर totally आपकी creativity पे आ जाता है, and how many times you can invest in that to make that kind of a game. You can build it from a single A to triple A game on your own, but it's totally on कि आप कितना time और effort उसके लिए put on करते हो. So start
या
with yeah.
ये जैसे हमें XR के अंदर भी घुसना है, जैसे गेम डेवलपमेंट में नहीं रहना. गेम डेवलपमेंट तो 2D में आ गया, लेकिन हमें 3D फेज के अंदर भी जाना है, हमें VR भी एक्सप्लोर करना है, AR भी एक्सप्लोर करना है. तो उसके लिए हम कहाँ से कौन से रिसोर्सेस में जाए?
आप गेम इंजन कोई भी चूज करो, उसके पास AR एंड VR वर्ल्ड का प्लगइन अवेलेबल रहेगा. यू कैन स्टार्ट विद द बेसिक्स. आप एक गेम इंजन को चूज करो, देन उसके AR प्लगइन को एक्सप्लोर करो, उसके VR प्लगइन को एक्सप्लोर करो. दैट वे यू कैन बिल्ड अ स्मॉल गेम्स इन AR एंड VR. जब आपको ये पता चल जाए, यू कैन स्विच टू द वेब ARs एंड VR. गूगल की अपने खुद के सेट ऑफ APIs एंड वेब पैनल्स हैं जहाँ पे आप दिस काइंड ऑफ एप्लीकेशन क्रिएट कर सकते हो ऑन टर्म्स ऑफ योर ओन लॉजिक. So these are the things. Or every game engine have a set of AR and VR compatibility. आपको बस अपना सेक्शन गेम डेवलपमेंट से शिफ्ट ऑन करके XR के पे शिफ्ट ऑन करना पड़ेगा, एंड यू विल बी हैविंग ऑल दोज रिसोर्सेज. हाउ टू बिगिन, कौन कौन से रिसोर्सेज लगेंगे, कौन से प्लगइन्स लगेंगे, कौन से SDK का पता होना चाहिए. दैट विल बी प्री डिफाइंड एंड प्री अलाइंड.
थैंक यू. और मेरा एक और डाउट है कि जैसे एक मेंबर ने पूछा था कि जैसे प्लेसमेंट्स नहीं लगती है या फिर प्लेसमेंट सेल्स नहीं आती है इसके लिए, गेमिंग डेवलपमेंट के लिए, या इंडिया में इतना ज़्यादा इवॉल्व नहीं किया है गेमिंग डेवलपमेंट, लेकिन हम कंपनीज को कैसे अप्रोच करें? क्योंकि हमारे पास इंटरव्यूअर्स कोई लेने तो नहीं आएगा, तो हम कैसे अप्रोच करें किसी को कि हाँ मेरे को आती है गेमिंग डेवलपमेंट, तो मैं एक कंपनी को कैसे अप्रोच करूं?
See, it's totally true. I'm not saying कि इंडिया में जो हम बोलते हैं ना कि AR and VR का जो डोमेन है, see इंडिया के अभी इवन द टॉप वर्ल्ड भी अभी ना AR VR को उतनी ढंग से कभी एक्सप्लोर नहीं कर पाया है. वी आर मूविंग टुवर्ड दैट फ्यूचर, बट अभी हम वहाँ पे नहीं पहुंचे. इंडिया में अगर हम बात करते हैं, अभी ऑक्यूलस हो गया या फिर दीज काइंड ऑफ डिवाइसेस, इट्स टोटली डिपेंडेंट ऑन कि आपके पास अभी ना दीज काइंड ऑफ वर्ड्स को एक्सप्लोर करने के लिए हार्डवेयर डिवाइसेस पब्लिकली उतनी चीप कॉस्ट पे अवेलेबल नहीं है. इफ यू वांट टू बाय ऑक्यूलस, उसके लिए आपको 28,000 खर्च करना पड़ेगा, वो भी बाहर से एक्सपोर्ट करना पड़ेगा. इफ यू वांट टू यूज HTC Vive, उसके लिए भी सेम सिनेरियो. There's a few startups, जैसे अजना लेंस हो गया, बट वो स्पेसिफिकली डिफेंस के लिए बनाते हैं. Geo glasses, they are planning to approx 2 to 3 years उनको लॉन्च का भी है, बट डिवाइसेस कम है, इस वजह से इसका इंट्रैक्शन कम है. बट इसका मतलब ये नहीं कि इसकी कम्युनिटी और जॉब्स इसमें है नहीं. AR वर्ल्ड हमारे पास अभी, if you have played Pokemon Go, that's a whole AR game. वो कितना पॉपुलर हुआ था at that time. I think वो टॉप चार्टेड था. उसी के बेसिस अब नए गेम्स होते हैं उसके अराउंड इवॉल्व हो रहे हैं. और जहाँ तक रही बात रिक्रूटर्स को अप्रोच करने की, यू हैव अ गुड प्लेटफॉर्म लिंक्डइन. यू कैन सर्च आउट कि अपना डिपार्टमेंट सर्च फिल्टर में डिपार्टमेंट डालो, किस डिपार्टमेंट में चाहिए, अपना एक्सपीरियंस उसमें भी फिल्टर आउट होता है, आपका इतना एक्सपीरियंस है, फिर आपका ये है उसमें. उसके बाद सर्च करके स्टार्टअप्स में, MNCs में अप्लाई करो. कोविड के बाद तो मैक्सिमम कंपनीज अब रिमोटली वर्क करती हैं. इवन इफ यू वांट टू वर्क ग्लोबली, आपको वहाँ से जॉब अपॉर्चुनिटीज हैं. इट्स टोटली ऑन यू. आर यू केपेबल ऑफ हैविंग दैट जॉब?
ओके भैया, थैंक यू.
See, for all you guys, you are in, I think, third or fourth year of your um, engineering. The best thing to do is just get to know, थोड़ा portfolio बना लो यार. बेसिक्स अपने ठीक कर लो, रीच आउट एंड लिंक्डइन। आई थिंक डू नॉट, ऐसा नहीं है कि आपकी जैसे कॉलेज प्लेसमेंट इज नॉट योर ओनली ऑप्शन, कीप दैट इन योर माइंड। जब मैं अपने कॉलेज 4th ईयर में था और मेरे बैचमेट्स थे, तो हम लोगों को भी यही फेयर था कि कॉलेज से प्लेसमेंट नहीं हुआ तो क्या होगा, इसमें नहीं हुआ तो क्या होगा। बट मेरे क्लास में अप्रॉक्स 45 बच्चे थे, अभी 45 के 45 कहीं ना कहीं लगे हुए हैं और सब अच्छी जगह लगे हुए हैं। ये थोड़ा सा फेज रहता है कि कॉलेज से नहीं मिला तो क्या होगा, बट इट विल ऑल पास, सबकी लग जाएगी नौकरी, कोई दिक्कत नहीं होती है। विल बी ऑल बी गेटिंग अ जॉब, कॉलेज से नहीं, कॉलेज के बाहर से सही। बट वन थिंग यू हैव टू डू, इट्स आई थिंक द फर्स्ट थिंग, क्लियर योर माइंड कहाँ पे आपको जाना है, और उस डोमेन से रिलेटेड अपना पोर्टफोलियो, अपना काम, अपनी प्रोग्रामिंग लैंग्वेजेस और सॉफ्टवेयर उस पर वर्क करना स्टार्ट कर दो। क्योंकि अगर उसी में जाना है देन यू विल बी हैविंग अ लॉट ऑफ चांसेस। आप लिंक्डइन पे ढूंढ सकते हो, देयर वाज सो मेनी फ्रीलांसर वेबसाइट, आप फ्रीलांस कर सकते हो। टोटली डिपेंडेंट ऑन दैट। आपको बस अभी का ये जो रहता है ना, अपना बेसिक्स, अपना प्रोग्रामिंग लैंग्वेज, अपना पोर्टफोलियो ये थोड़ा ठीक करके रखना पड़ेगा। जॉब तो अपने आप मिल जाएगी, उसमें वो टाइम लगेगा, अपॉर्चुनिटीज ढूंढने में टाइम लगेगा, बट अपॉर्चुनिटीज जॉब्स बहुत है मार्केट में। इट्स नॉट लाइक कि अभी नहीं हुआ तो आगे भी नहीं होगा, इस साल नहीं हुआ तो अगले साल भी नहीं होगा। टोटली पे मेरे 45 मेरे बैचेस के 45 का हो गया, तो आई थिंक यू गाइस आर न्यू, तुम्हारा भी हो जाएगा, वो भी अच्छी जगह हो जाएगा। बट ये है कि अब उसके लिए ना आपको खुद ही प्रिपेयर होना पड़ेगा, थोड़ा टाइम लगेगा, बट अच्छा होगा। दैट्स अ थिंग।
Thank you so much, Mritunjay, for such a great session. I hope that the session was helpful to you all and makes you feel nearer to your goals. Just remember, difficult terrains always have beautiful destinations. Now, I would like to welcome Pradipto Bhaiya to say a few words.
गुड इवनिंग एवरीवन। यार ज़्यादा टाइम नहीं लूँगा तुम्हारा, वैसे ही 12 सेशंस लेके वैसे ही थक गए होगे। Okay, so but before ending the series, we wish to express our deepest gratitude to you all, for joining the event and making it a huge success. We had a cumulative attendance over 1100, 1200 across all the sessions, and 500 से ज़्यादा 5000 से ज़्यादा impressions on social media, 15 plus hours of live interaction with you all. धीरे धीरे करके obviously attendance गिरा था, but obviously तुम्हें अपनी अपनी पसंद की चीज़ें मिलती गई and you had your choices, right? So thank you all for joining in these sessions, and we wish to thank everyone जो इनके पीछे involved था. This was not at all possible without the tremendous work done by the folks at NSCC, right from the speakers who took out the time to take these sessions, the awesome anchors, script writers, graphic designers, marketing, all the other people in the NSCC BPIT, my colleagues in senior council for their guidance, and last but not the least, the amazing junior council consisting of Vaibhav Goyal and Vaibhav Bhardwaj both, Anushka, Ayush, Pavas, Daksh, Gracie, Rishi, Rishabh, Tanish, Muskan, Smriti, Smarth, Raj. I hope I did not miss any names. You guys were really, really amazing. Okay, so keep up the good work. We guys are proud of you. And at the end, we hope it was a worthwhile experience for you all. Keep following us on our social media platforms, on our WhatsApp groups, and we will be bringing on such awesome and informative programs for you. And of course, we are open to feedbacks on the same. So we will see you again. Thanks a lot. Good night to all. Over to Sakshi.
Thank you, Pradipto, for the saying all that you did. I also appreciate the efforts of the team. It takes a lot of hard work to conduct such great sessions. So I would also like to thank you all for being such a great audience, and I hope you all have a great night ahead. Thank you.